Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa.
This is not any other food. This is Ndudu by Fafa, where I carefully think about the flavors that I do infuse. They're of course natural, and I'll tell you what, you serve this at any party of yours, or even just on the normal day, girl, boy, you've got it. Now I've noticed as well that a lot of couples do comment and they go like, oh, my wife or husband doesn't actually know my secret in terms of how my cooking has improved. I appreciate that, definitely. Cooking for each other is just an incredible experience. Valentine's around the corner, you know what I mean? So you better start cooking to get your presents. Hey.
Today I'm going to talk you through one of my favorite recipes. It was during my spice series where I was marinating with the goat meat, the lamb, as well as the beef, that I noticed that I've not done any recipe, like done a beef stew recipe. I was like, that's sacrilege, considering, I do make the best beef stew, even if I say so. Now, it's imperative that you do watch my previous video about marinating the beef, goat, and lamb shank in 3 different flavors. Because, of course, I have marinated the beef in my aniseed, also known as nkiti, ginger, garlic, and onion, but I've got in depth with it in terms of why I've chosen that flavor for the beef. So you need that knowledge as well. So it's a must watch, definitely. That would give you a better understanding of this video. Anyway, moving on. I am using beef brisket here, which is a tougher meat. So I have to cook this slowly and for a longer period of time. So for the first time ever, of course, I'm adding water to my meat and I'm going to slow steam this for an hour. So I'm going to trap that in and just leave it for it to just cook nicely till it's nice and tender. Now with the beef brisket, I need it to be tender once it's steamed through and through, because I am going to fry it, so I need it crispy on the outside but nice and moist in the middle. Absolutely. So after carefully steaming this for an hour, my meat is definitely tender and I love the stock that is left there. So I am going to remove the meat and I will be frying it next. But of course, I'm not going to discard the stock away because that's where the flavor is as well. The stock is definitely going to be part of the stew. Now, the flavor that I'm looking for in this stew is, naturally beef doesn't have a stronger taste. So I don't want to overpower it. So I am just enhancing all the flavors and I want the beef to stand out still. So yes, I'm now going to start with my roasted red peppers because that's where the infusion is starting. I'm charring it with the tomatoes as well, so I get that beautiful smoky taste, but also it makes the stew just sweeter. Now, what I've done is I've blended my tomato and roasted pepper mixture and I've reduced it. Now I'm adding it to the stock. So this is where multitasking comes into play. I am now going to fry my beef in my oil, absolutely, whilst the stock and the tomato combination just cooks nicely. So as I said, with multitasking, it's imperative here. Now please take all necessary precautions when you are frying. As you can see, I am keeping a distance because sometimes the oil does spit and you just don't want to hurt yourself. So I think I'm looking at it and it's almost there. It's getting crispy, but I need it darker. Yes, now this is it. So it's crispy on the outside and it's just going to be nice and moist in the middle as I slice my onions to add to the oil. So I'm still using the same oil. I have used groundnut oil for this recipe. Groundnut oil has a higher smoking point, which means I can fry with it and cook the stew in it. So to that I've added my sliced onions and I'm going to fry this for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now, the whole point of the stew is to fry everything. So the amount of oil you need will be more than necessary, but you can scoop that flavored oil out later as I go along. You would see what I do with it. After about 5 minutes of my onion frying, I'm now adding my tomato puree and I'm going to fry this for another 5 to 8 minutes because chairman I fine.
Definitely, I'm using the very traditional Ghanaian method of making the ultimate stew. So yes, but of course I could not, just leave it alone. I had to twist it a little bit. But I'll tell you, the added twist is so much needed, and it just takes your dish from one level to the next level up. You know what I mean? Okay, so you can see I'm painstakingly taking the skin off these shallots. I remember during my childhood, Mum preferred these onions, these shallots, and I didn't because, it took ages for you to peel. However, that was like, if you make it her raw pepper or anything, that's what you had to use. And I could understand why, because it's sweeter, it has more of a, it's punchier in a way, and it actually gives a different taste to your raw pepper. When we say raw pepper in Ghana, it's not just raw chilies. It's a spicy salsa, so of course we have our chili, tomatoes and onions. Sometimes we add garlic or ginger to it. So yes, now I'm going to be peeling this painstakingly. Yeah, as you watch, and I'm sure you're laughing at me. But thankfully, I'm not having any tears. Could you imagine? Oh, no. Thankfully. I don't know why. I know why, because what I did was I placed the onion in the fridge first. So yeah, if that works, I don't know. But so far, eyes are clear.
So now that my cheese has been chewing for about 8 minutes, I'm adding my cayenne pepper. You can use your normal red chili powder, but I prefer the cayenne pepper, and I'm also adding some rosemary, some dry rosemary. So the cayenne pepper is not as hot or spicy as the normal red chilies. And of course, the rosemary also has that beautiful aromatic flavor. So that's just going to infuse into the oil. And to that, I've added that smoky paprika. So you get that smokiness coming through, and I'm going to be churning this and frying this for another 3 to 4 minutes. So at this point in time, you can see the infusion taking place at each stage. So now my mixture is ready for me to add my blended tomato, which is charred, of course, with my red peppers. So this is where the chain is definitely going to start. Now, cooking this in this clay pot makes a big difference because the clay pot regulates the heat, and I need that medium to low heat to cook this through because we have to fry that tomato mixture, every mixture in there, till it separates and it's nice and intense with flavor. Don't be alarmed by the amount of oil that is used in making the sauce. Now, apart from the added effect that, it helps fry every ingredient in there just perfectly and intensify the natural flavors of everything, it means you end up with a flavored oil that you can reserve and use it for other recipes as well. So you're killing two birds with a stone. Why not?
If this is your first time for joining my channel, then you're welcome. Where have you been? Yeah, don't forget to click the notification button as well, because what that means is each time I upload a video, it is delivered straight to your email address, but most importantly, you're notified of it. And yeah, it means that you don't miss a thing, because most of these videos are intertwined with each other, so you need to watch it as and when I create it so that you can follow the journey. That sort of helps because then most of your questions would be answered even, before I even create another recipe, because I've covered that in a previous video. So yeah, I'm still not crying. There are still no tears. Can you imagine? Then it happens. That teaches me a lesson.
Now you can see how dark and rich this is becoming. The oil is getting darker, it's still frying. And at this point, I'm scooping the excess oil out because that's my beautiful flavored oil that I'm going to reserve. And I'll be using it for other recipes. I can use it to fry my omelette, use it for my scrambled eggs, use it for a lot of things. So now I'm going to revive some flavors. So at this juncture, I've blended onions with my green chilies. Now it's best to use the kaswa peppers, which I always mention, or kpakpushuto, which are known as petit bell chilies. If not, you can just use any green chilies that you do have access to. Jalapeno, that would work also. And blend everything together and add it to your stew. Now, bear in mind the stew has been cooking for a while, and so by adding that green chili vibe to it, it just gives it that lovely kick and also this herbaceous and aromatic flavor. Now, of course, you need to add your salt to taste at this point because you're intensifying all the flavors and the stew is almost done. If you add salt at the very beginning and it intensifies and becomes so salty, you can't go back on it. So gently cook this mixture for almost an hour because we're intensifying every flavor. And just when it's almost done, I've got my shallots that I've painstakingly taken the skin off, and I'm adding that to my stew. Yes, this is my twist, absolutely. So I'm adding that, and that is just going to absorb the flavors that's in that stew into the shallots. And they're going to be nice and pearl-like and intensify and sweet. So you bite into it, and it's just packed with flavors and the moisture that comes out of it. Trust me, you definitely want to peel those onions and add to your stew, most definitely. And you know, when the flavors are right, you do a little bit of dancing as you do. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white peppercorns because it's all aromatic, you see. And white peppercorns has this distinctive taste that really works well with this beef stew of mine. Makachiro. Flavor no in fuel. Ke white pepper in fitai. Be me mix una be one fry. So you can see the pearl-like onions. Now I can add my fried beef. I said this is like not any other food. Oh, this is it. Look at that. And now I'm adding my green peppers because that green pepper has that slight bitterness that really works well with this dish because it's got the onion, the tomatoes, which is a little bit sweeter. So by adding the green peppers, which is slightly on the bitter side, it just balances that flavor perfectly. Now I've got to do this. This is not any other food. This is Ndudu. Now my stew is almost done, but I'm just sprinkling with a little bit of a Greek wild thyme just to add that little infusion. And I'm going to mix everything together till it's well combined. Now I don't want my green peppers to overcook. I need it al dente and just perfect. So, you know, it's the texture. So you bite into this beautiful pearl-like onion and you've got the crunchiness of the green pepper and you've got all this flavor and also that crunchy bit of the meat and the moist center part of the meat. I mean, seriously, this is called your mouth de jom.
Here we have that ultimate beef stew. That Ndudu beef stew. When I say it's flavor packed, absolutely. Textures, Anyway, let me just taste this. Just to make sure I'm not yobbing. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect, actually. I don't need to add anything to it. Oh. My mouth is even still watering. Look at that. Flavor packed. Now, if this is your first time, I hope I have given you that reason to click that subscribe button and the notification button, which means that each time I upload a video, you are notified of it and you do not miss a thing. You have to be watching my video in sequence because I do refer to previous videos as well. If you haven't, just do a catch up, definitely. Oh, flavor, namba, Ndudu, amabamawela. Say me diagro. Hey. You share DNA. Flavor is a can buy. You get warm blue. What no mafu. Go flavors have been in my body. Seriousness, now kata vanano. Infusions of avamo. Ukata kwa Ndudu kanu tono today. Anyabade. Ndudu by Fafa. Ingredients all kata. But carefully select now. Hey. Did I just do the whole error English thing? Oh gosh. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, if you are ever going to change, just change for yourself. If you are in a better place, you can project positivity. You can project a good aura.